several members together in Washington today. They marched all around the memorials. They ended up here. Some of their members are still back here joining this protest. I did speak to two of their leaders, Mtokufa and Ngwenya and Raymond Hawkins Jr. a short time ago. I asked them about the killing of Rayshard Brooks in Atlanta on Friday night at that Wendy's, their frustration levels over that event, and also their ideas about whether the police can ever reform at this point after the George Floyd killing and the Brooks killing on Friday night. Take a listen. I have family that live blocks away from where that incident occurred at the Wendy's. Like, I've been to that Wendy's in Atlanta, so I felt it in my spirit that could have been me.
We're working towards change. I do not think that it's going to happen overnight, but I'm confident and I believe in God that it will happen soon. The police department is starting to realize that things need to change. America is finally starting to realize that things need to change, and we're going to capitalize on that enthusiasm and that energy to ensure that change is invoked across this country.
Tell me a bit about what was the turning point as far as your pursuit of leadership?
So my road or my path was probably the path of most resistance. I never held a leadership position in the fraternity in college, and I had never held a position in the frat, minus once I started really understanding that the power of politics or the power of policy. And brother, past Eastern Regional Vice President McCaskill allowed me into his cabinet per se, and put me on as a special assistant. So I was able to see the fraternity from a regional perspective, where I had always seen it from a chapter point of view, whether it was a college or an alumni. And that elevation and that purview instantly pushed me to realize that our fraternity, our beloved fraternity, needs succession plans. Mm-hmm. And without people in certain areas or groups, data can die, right? Institutional knowledge can die. And I realized several years ago, about 10 years ago, that I wanted to be part of a building block of this organization so that it can live, should I have a son, so that it can live for my son to appreciate it, or my son's sons appreciate it.
That's deep.
So that's what I saw, right? And again, it's back to Brother King's point about understanding leadership, understanding mentors. And I'm not sure that Brother McCaskill even knew that he was ushering a leader in, right? I don't know if he had the presence of mind. He may have seen something in me that I didn't see in myself. And that pushed me to want more.
So I've always been of the school of thinking where, in order to be a great leader, you got to be a good follower, right? So, I tie everything back to sport, because that is what I'll say saved me from being a reckless young man growing up. It got me away from a very reckless lifestyle. And I started off as just a member of a track team. I never forget my freshman year of high school. I'm just running through the hallway because I was late to class. The track coach saw me, like, I need to see you after school. I want you to meet me at the track and do that again. And I did it. He's like, you need to be on this track team. And, it kind of sparked my interest, because I'd never seen anyone take an interest in my athleticism that fast. Like, he saw something right away. And so, of course, we had a lot of great athletes. Back then, Eleanor Roosevelt was like a track mecca in Prince George's County. I'm watching a lot of phenoms move up and go into Division I schools, for scholarships, and they're, team captains and their leaders and so forth. And then I ascended to the role of team captain when I'm a senior in high school. So I started leadership, I'd say, fairly young in that regard. And so when I got into college, same thing, I kind of still had that leadership mentality, even as a freshman on the track team. These things kind of built up in me, what a leader should be, right? He should be strong, he should be present, he should be able to lead from the front as well as from the back, right? He should be attentive, He should be forward thinking and all these different things. And I applied that to sport, and everything that I did, from workouts to training to motivating, the team to perform well, to celebrating championships. And when I got into Alpha, I became a follower. So now I'm watching, the chapter president at the time, and how he's, motivating the campus and moving around, and how people are literally moving out of the way for him to walk past and to speak in different things. And, I took a liking to it.
Yeah.
And I became a student of what that looked like. And as I evolved in Alpha, I started to take, on the role of chapter president in college and so forth. And then, after college, I go back to being a follower again.
Yes.
Right now, I'm watching the district director. At that time, it was David Raphael. And the regional vice president was Dennis Kemp. And they're both in my alumni chapter. Right. So I'm watching these brothers and how they're moving and how they're shaking, the words that they choose to use and how they navigate the room and navigate through situations. And I'm just taking those and I'm observing. Now, once these brothers move on out of their roles and new brothers start to usher into those positions, I'm watching what they do. And now I want to help out, because I'm all about, motivating people and moving forward, moving the entire agenda forward. And over time, as I'm observing these different things, some things aren't going as well as they used to or what have you. And I would just provide recommendations. Well, have you ever thought about doing this? Or just asking the brothers about that, or just, seeing what other people think, or, doing those different things. And, one brother gave me a shot. He says, you know what, I'm gonna put you in charge of this and let me see how you do. And our first task was, it was a regional convention was held in Baltimore. Dennis Kemp was the regional vice president. And he put me as a college brother as in charge of the social committee, right, along with another brother in the region. And I was responsible for the college brothers' social hour, if you will, their party or whatever, after the step show. And it was just like full faith and confidence in whatever I could do. And he, supported it.
He took a chance on you.
He took a chance on me, absolutely. And so, in my opinion, that event went extremely well.
Right.
And just seeing how someone could take a chance on you and you deliver for them motivated me to continue to want to do that. And so I started to give myself into other roles as associate area director of college brother affairs, and different things. And, it just motivated me to continue to pursuing, more in the fraternity.
And so from what you were saying is you've held some positions that were out front that people have seen, right? Brother Ngwenya has held positions that were kind of from a support standpoint, but across multiple administrations. So, talk about the difference between being out front and being in the back room, really getting it done with your sleeves rolled up. And for people outside looking in, is there a difference to it? Is one better than the other?
So I want to say,
Definitely
Brother Ngwenya, if you don't mind, I want to say something first. When I started off, I actually operated behind the curtain. I didn't want to be in the spotlight. I'd rather someone else would be the face of whatever.
Right.
And I was okay with that brother getting all the praise and accolades. I would never take that away from any of those brothers. But I would be behind the curtain, holding the strings, if you will. So it wasn't until the role of alumni vice president that I truly stepped out from behind the curtain and was more visible and present in my role and responsibilities, and made everything very transparent.
Right.
Yeah. I'll echo Brother Hawkins' comments, and I've always enjoyed working in the background, professionally in my personal life. The limelight was never my thing, and it's still not my thing.
Same.
But running for the alumni vice president position of the MAAC opened up my eyes in ways that I didn't know could be. The moment you step into leadership, there's a moving target on you. And it may be somebody wants to target you to give you a hug or a word of advice, or they may be trying to clip you off before you can even ascend.
Mm.
And if we're speaking frankly, this is MAAC offline.